Hey guys, welcome back to Walking with Jesus Daily. We are in day 40. Let's go. If you have held on this long, you are crazy just like me. So let's keep rolling. Let's keep getting to know Jesus. I know that right now we are in a patch where we are not in necessarily a holding pattern, but we are in a spot where we're no longer walking chronologically. We're taking a quick sidestep to allow God to examine us, to allow God to point out the things that have to go. And I can feel the look on some of your faces. And it's not a lot of excitement there. Maybe I'm just feeling the look of my own face. I have done this before, multiple times, and there are certainly more fun things to do. But to become a disciple of Jesus, we have to get to the point where we're like Peter, on our knees, at his feet, saying, "Depart from me, I am a sinful person." Not because we need to put ourselves down, but because we need to put him up. There's always a opposite, I'll say. It's not really an opposite. It's one that is more overpowering than another, always. And if Jesus is not Lord of our life, if he is not the overpowering Lord over us, and if we decide to take that place instead, that's not going to work. It's certainly not going to work in this, and it's certainly not going to work in our walk with God. We don't lead Jesus; he leads us. We don't tell him; he tells us. We go from the talker to the listener. We go from the leader to the follower. These are steps that a lot of people are unwilling to take. But as we go, they're necessary. They're even more than necessary. So yesterday we had a good talk about Jesus. I am the living bread. I am true bread. That is interesting too. Anyway, what Jesus says and how he says it is very cool. Today we are working on the next one that we are following. I am the light. We have talked about light before. There is light and there is darkness. There's basically one is not. Darkness has no power over light, period. That's a low dot, that's a happy stick, that's end of all. You cannot capture darkness and throw it on top of light. There is no way. The only way for light to not overcome darkness is if it is turned off. Even a dim light will shine in darkness. Even one that is not powerful will shine in darkness. Lights are used for all kinds of things. They keep ships safe. They allow us to see at night when we're driving. Lights light up things that we need to see, and they light up things that we need to look away from. We're attracted to light as humans, just like we're attracted to darkness, depending on what we're doing. And it is true that there is light that leads to darkness. But what I have seen also is that there's darkness that leads to light. This is why we read about the true light, the one light. We have to remember that Jesus is always referring to these things in spiritual ways. When he says, "I am the light," he's not talking about he is the sun. God lit the world up without the sun. God lights up heaven without the sun, without a body of light, without anything material or mortal. He doesn't need it. God alone is light. I know that's hard to understand. One day we will understand. Until then, we will have faith. And we're going to talk about faith in a couple days, because that's very important. But what we're going to talk about today is in John chapter 8. And I'm going to start around verse 12. I might do a little recap before that. But if we're in John chapter 8, we have this story about this woman caught in adultery. That's what it says in verse 4. And it talks about their law, the law of Moses, allowed them to stone a woman caught in adultery. And they look to Jesus and they say, "What do you say? Jesus, you say you're over us. You say you are the Son of God. What do you say?" They did this to test him. Guys, can we just take a quick look at Jesus' life? It's just one test after another test after another test. And then he shows that he's the Son of God, and then more tests and more tests, and then he shows that he has the power of God and the power of the Spirit in him, and then more tests and more tests and more hatred and more hatred. And you're like, this doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, he's doing good things, kind things, loving things, amazing things. Nah, don't like him. That's not the one I'm looking for. He is not the guy. Why the constant testing? So the scribes and the Pharisees catch this woman. First off, like, what are they doing? Do they know this is happening and they're just waiting around? How do you catch somebody in adultery? But whatever. Anyway, that's not like, okay. They said, "We're allowed to stone him. What do you say?" They said this so that they could test him, because they just need something, some kind of evidence, something hard that they can bring against him so they can get rid of him. And it says that Jesus bends down and he writes with his finger on the ground. Writes with his finger on the ground. What is he writing? He doesn't say. Everybody has an idea of what he's writing. Quite frankly, doesn't really matter, does it? Because it has a profound effect. Whatever he's writing on the ground at this time has a profound effect on what happens next. It says they continued to ask him, so he stood up. And this is what he says: "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her." In other words, you're judging this woman. You probably set her up. Who knows, right? Who really knows? We don't know. But he says, if you are fit to be the judge of this woman, then you may be the judge of this woman. If you are without sin, because I am saying that this woman caught in adultery and you over there being hateful is the same. It's you not being who God created you to be. So you over there, guys with the big stones, ready to kill this person. A dead person cannot repent. Okay? A dead person cannot return. They're dead. So everybody out there who's got those stones, who just cannot wait to show somebody how wrong they are and how good you are. Okay, all of you, go for it. Throw away. See how you can do it. I mean, just give her a good knock in the head and you show her how bad she is and how good you are. And then it says he bends down and he writes on the ground. And when those people heard what he said, slowly they began to drop those stones and to walk away. And it says it started with the older ones. Is it because they had more sin than the younger ones? And it's probably because they had a better understanding. I don't know. And then in the end, it was Jesus left alone with this adulterous woman standing right in front of him. This is judgment. Everybody is gone, and it is you, and it is Jesus. And all the people that hate you, and all the people that judge you, and all those around you mean nothing. Because now you, sinful person, are standing before the Son of God. Jesus stands up from writing on the ground and he asks her a question. Oh, Jesus always asks the questions. Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you? Because I was pretty sure that they were going to stone you to death, right? Because you are an adulterous woman. You are sinful. I am holy. We can't really be hanging out together. This is what people say. They make up stories about this. Her answer, no one. Lord. She says, Lord. No one, Lord. There is no one here to condemn me. Only you. Only you stand in front of me. And this is what Jesus says. Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on sin no more. I did not come to judge you and to show you everything you do wrong. You do that just fine on your own. I came to save you. I came to bring life. I came to bring true bread. I came because I love you and I want you to be with me forever. I came because this isn't it. I came because you're hopeless without me. I came because you can't see. You are blind. And now we get into the actual lesson. You gotta have context to know what you're reading. Because the word that it starts with is again. Again what? It says again, Jesus spoke to them, and this is what he said to his followers, to the people that were there that were not condemning this woman. I am the light of the world. The light of the world. If the world needs light, what does that mean? That means that the world is filled with darkness. If the world needs light, it means that what is in the world now is not light. It is darkness. He says, I am the light of the world. I am. I am. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Second time, I am statement. True bread, the bread of life, spiritual bread, spiritual manna falling from heaven, that's me. Eat it. Drink my blood, eat my flesh. It is true and it is real. My life is real. I am the light of the world. I just showed you an example of who I am. I did not come to bring more darkness and more judgment. I did not come to turn people against each other. I came to bring light so you can see the error of your ways. I came to bring light so you could understand who God is. I came to bring light so you know where you're going. And the Pharisees said to him, "You are bearing witness about yourself. Your testimony is not true." It says, you can't prove what you're saying because you're the only one saying it. You're not the light of the world. You're not who you say you are or who you think you are because you have no witness. You have no eyewitness. Jesus answered, "Okay, even if I do bear witness about myself, my testimony is true." Why do I say that? He says, because I know where I came from and where I am going. I know it all. But you do not know where I come from or where I'm going. You know nothing about me. All that you know is that you hate me and you want to kill me and you want to get rid of me. I am your Messiah. I have come to save you, and all you want to do is cast me out of your life. I have come to bring light to you, and you cling to the darkness because it just feels better there, you think. I'm in control here, you think. I have a say in what I do and how I feel here, you think. I can judge other people and make myself better, you think. Verse 15. You judge according to the flesh. You judge according to the flesh, according to the world, according to your own ways, according to how you feel, according to what you think is right. You judge people as a person. He says, I judge no one, yet one day he will judge all. But right now, do you see this woman? He could have stood before them all and said, this woman is a sinner. She has had multiple chances to do the right thing, and she has chose wrong every time. Well, guess what, lady? Time's up. You did it one too many times. You may kill this woman. But that is not what Jesus said, and it is not what Jesus did. And I don't care how China wants to distort the Bible, because they are. They're rewriting it so they can distribute it with their own ideology in it. Look it up. Ours is true. What we have is real, and we can believe it. He says, I judge no one. I came to save you. He says, yet even if I do judge, my judgment is true, for it is not I alone who judge, but I and the Father who sent me, my witness, the testimony of which makes it true. He then goes on to explain to them their law. In your law, Okay, the one you're clinging to, that I have come to fulfill and bring a new law. But in your law, it is written that the testimony of two people is true. Now, can there be a flaw in this? Of course, two people want to lie about something and they agree on it. You got to believe what they said. There's two of them. The point being, there has to be more than one person. There has to be a witness. That's what he says. I am the one who bears witness about myself, and the Father who sent me bears witness about me. The God you say, the I am that you say you serve, him, he is my witness that I am the light of the world. I allow the spiritually blind to see, but I don't force it. If you choose darkness, that is your choice. That woman now has a chance to see clearly. But if she goes back and chooses darkness, that is her choice. We don't know. If you hear this lesson and you choose darkness, it is your choice. But you and I both know that darkness has nothing for you. You are literally just hiding from the light, and you're gonna run out of places to hide. And one day that light will outshine every darkness from every extent. And there will be one darkness left, and that will be hell. This isn't meant to scare you. If you were scared, you would have made a choice a long time ago. This is meant for you to see the incredible love of Jesus. Do you not see the incredible love of Jesus? This is what they say to him. Where is your father? I guess they're knowing that Joseph is dead, or they're asking where his actual dad is. Because again, all we see is the flesh, the physical side of things. Guys, just believe me when I tell you that there is a spiritual world around us. It is constant warfare and everywhere. Angels are battling for you, and demons are coming for you. You will be constantly tested to see who you choose. Do you choose Jesus? Or do you choose yourself? Do you choose Jesus, or do you choose the world? Like, well, if I choose Jesus, I have to give up the world. You're not getting it, guys. When you choose Jesus, your eyes are opened up to the truth. You're not giving up anything. You're filling up for the very first time in your life, seeing clearly the things that are true that God created. Jesus' answer here is the same as his answer for us now. You know neither me nor my Father. If you knew me, you would know my Father also. I am the light of the world. I love talking about light, if I'm just being honest with you guys. I could talk about light all for hours if you want me to, and you don't, trust me. But can we see how this story flows? He goes on to talk about truth and how it leads to freedom. He goes on to talk about who their dad is. Their father is the devil. He goes on to explain this to them. He tells them in verse 42, if God were your father, you would love me, for I came from God and I am here. I came not of my own accord. I didn't come because I wanted to, but he sent me. Why do you not understand what I say? It is because you cannot bear to hear my word. It hurts you. You hate what I say. Why? Because you are of your father, the devil, and your will is to do your Father's desires. All of those things in the flesh. Not the truth, but lies. Not love, but murder. See, there is no truth in Satan, just constant deception, constant lie. He's called the father of lies in verse 44. He says in 45, but because I tell you the truth, you do not believe me. In 47, he says, whoever is of God hears the words of God. The reason why you do not hear them is that you are not of God. Guys, we are talking to Pharisees, the spiritual, air quotes, leaders of the Jews, of God's chosen people. They are there to oversee God's law. And the Son of God, Jesus himself, calls them what? Sons of the devil. Your father is the devil. These are the popes, the high priests, the whatever highest people that we're talking about. They're blind. You're blind. The truth is not in you. You do not know my Father because you do not know me. How do I know you don't know me? Because of the way that you are, because of the fruit of your life. He goes on to tell them that before Abraham even existed, who God gave the promise to, before Moses ever existed, he says, I am. Do you know how cool that is? This is what he says. This is our mic drop finale, okay? Because we're basically covering all of John 8. John 8 is just straight fire. It is fire from word one to word ending, okay? He says in verse 58, truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was, I am. That could have been phrased so many times. So many different ways. He could have said, guys, I was around before Abraham was. He could have said, I created Abraham. No, he says this, before Abraham was, I am. When he says I am, they only go to Yahweh. They only go to Jehovah. They only go to the Lord God. When he says I am. Guys, Jesus is I am. He is the proof of the Father. He is the proof of the Spirit. He is the evidence of all things. We can have all faith because you can't disprove the existence of Jesus or what he did. You can't disprove the words that he said or the miracles that he did because we have manuscripts that go back nearly 2,000 years that say the exact same things at the time that he lived. Try to disprove it. You will frustrate yourself. Because there will always be that doubt. Always, for your whole life, there will be that doubt. Do not let that doubt live. That is darkness. Let that little bit of light shine. Let it become a bright light. And in the end, let it be a light that shines on you that does not cast a shadow. See, a light that shines on you, then shines in you, then shines through you. So you are no longer even associated with darkness, even in the form of a shadow. When you first see that light and you're full of that darkness, you cast a shadow. But when you accept Jesus, the I am, you are now filled with that light. You say, search me, God, and he searches you. And he shines that light in the dark places so that you are light. Where you go is light, and it's not your own. You've tried to shine your light. It is a garbage light. You no longer cast a shadow. You become one with Jesus, who is one with the Father. And the light that you shine is bright. The light that you shine is His, and you are no longer a part of darkness in any way, shape, or form, not even in the form of a shadow. I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Love you guys.